Hey there, everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and welcome to a presentation of a 1970s board game, Statis Pro, and we're replaying the 1985 Yankees season. So today we're going to be seeing Randy O'Neal is going to be facing Phil Niekro. Now, Randy O'Neal, I'm looking him up, and he's got an interesting career. He played 3 years with Detroit. He had ERAs of 3.38, 3.24, and 4.33. Then he got, I guess, traded or released, or I don't know what happened, but he went to Atlanta and St. Louis in '87. In Atlanta, he had a 5.61 ERA, and then he played one game with St. Louis, and he had a 1.80 ERA. Following year, he stayed with St. Louis, so he went from Atlanta, picked him up or got him in a trade, I'm not sure. And then he went at some point in the season, he was released or traded to St. Louis. He stayed with St. Louis for '88. Then he was released or traded to Philadelphia for one season where he had a 6.23 ERA. His last season, he pitched in 26 games. He was 29 years old for the San Francisco Giants, and he had a 3.83 ERA, which is not too bad. But that's it. He was in the majors for 7 years. So we're right about to get started with our game. And just let me get a couple of things down. Now, this is Statis Pro Baseball. This is a 1970s game. So you got to think of, the Ford and Carter administrations. You got to think of the 44 caliber killer. You got to think of Led Zeppelin and Tony Manero. This is the era that this game was created during mid-70s. I'm sure he was thinking about it during the mid-70s and working on it and play testing it. And the Yankees in our replay are 37-25. Detroit's 36-26. So let's take a quick look at, I believe the Yankees are in first place. No, the Yankees are in third place, one place ahead of the fourth place Detroit Tigers and one game ahead of the Detroit Tigers. So if Detroit wins this game, they're tied for third place with the Yankees. All right, so it's going to be Ricky Henderson leading it off. It's going to be Ricky Henderson in center field, followed by Ken Griffey Sr. in left field. In the third hole is Don Mattingly. Batting cleanup is Dave Winfield, the right fielder. Batting fifth is Bradley, the DH. He's a left-handed hitting DH. Ron Hasse is in at catcher today, batting sixth. Batting seventh is Willie Randolph, the second baseman. He plays with the Yankees all the way till about 1990, 89 or 90. So he has a long career with the Yankees, came over from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's on my 76 replay inside pitch season. Mike Pagliarulo, or Pags, at third base. He ends up with Minnesota in a couple of years. batting eighth. And batting ninth is Bobby Meacham, the shortstop. All right, so we are right about to get started now. This comes with a great big old, pretty nice quality game board. And on the game board is all the information you need. All the charts are on the game board, which is a unique approach, right? A unique approach. Usually you have a separate booklet or a separate set of boards that are going to, offer you the information that you need. Not in this case. In this case, it's in this case you get everything here right in front of you. Now, another neat little thing that this game comes with, which is a little bit clunky for me, but I have to get used to it. And I have to remind myself to remember it, and I like doing that, is a home pitcher reduction and an away pitcher reduction, meaning that each pitcher has a number of, I guess, batters he can face. And or not really batters. I'm not sure exactly. It's just a number that represents his endurance, and you put it on here. And if there's a walk, a hit, or a run, you reduce it. If by one for each of those, and that's how you keep track. When it gets to one, you replace the pitcher, and that makes it kind of simple. So we don't, it removes that bias, that inherent bias that we have in games. So that's kind of cool. Now, the great thing, this is the original board, an original 85 set that I picked up. I'm not sure where I picked it up. I started this replay, this 85 replay, about 3 years ago when I was visiting New York and going to see Met games. At night, I would come back, get something to eat, and about 1 a.m., I'd kind of pull out this game and start rolling some dice. So what I want to say, the cards. Yeah, the cards are real small. I mean, if you compare them to, I don't know, any other card, let's just say a payoff pitch card. Look at that. So they're real tiny, kind of cool, easy to handle, easy to manage, not very heavy, easy to travel with. Comes in a box that's like the size of a large book, fits in your bookcase. And I've found that I've gotten every player so far. So I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I've gotten every player so far. Let's go through Detroit. You see, it doesn't have any stats. So I can't go off. The only thing it does give me is the number of games played. This guy had 5 games at DH and 4 games at first base. So I have a player that played only 9 games in the season. Now remember, back in the 80s, you didn't get a lot of players that played in one game like you do today. You have a lot of that happening today, but they're changing that today, where the new rules in baseball now in September, you can't have 40-man rosters. I think they're only 28. So you just are not overwhelmed with, you get to know your players a little bit. All right, so we're going to get started. On the right, I'm going to keep score on a score sheet. And this is, you don't roll in this game. Hey there, Philip. How are you, brother? Playing a little Statis Pro Classic Retro 70s tabletop baseball board game. I heard that the basketball game is one of the best. It's one of the most fun and easy to kind of figure out. That's from guys that, that play it. So I'm ready to get started here. Let's see, just trying to adjust the board to even it out. There you go. I could move the camera instead, but let me see. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit here. There we go. So you can see the flow of the game. I want you to see the flow of the game. And I think we're ready to roll. All right, you pull a fast action card and you read the top left. It's going to be a PB, and that's basically you look off the pitcher. That's what that represents. The pitcher in this case is 2 to 8. So anytime I get a 2 to 8 here, I'm going to look off Randy O'Neal. When I get a 2 to 7 off Negro, I look at Negro when it's the Tigers batting. So it's going to come off of the pitcher's card. Now I'm going to look in the upper right. It's going to be a 52, and a 52 is an out. What kind of an out? You got to look at Ricky Henderson. He's an RP. And then you check the bottom. The out sequence is a pop-up to the catcher. 1 up, 1 down. And that's how you do. That's how you play Statis Pro. It's a 6, so that's off O'Neal. A 34 is going to be a strikeout. Ken Griffey Sr. strikes out, 2 outs. The next is Don Mattingly. He's batting, I think, 334 or 344 in this replay. A 6, again, off the pitcher. 51, and that is an out. He's an LP, and that's a ground ball to shortstop, who fields it cleanly over to first. 3 up, 3 down. Just like that. We go to bottom of the first. Fun little game. Now, they used to be really cheap, and I started looking. I got a bunch of these sets that are, I usually buy the ones that haven't been, they haven't been touched pretty much. They haven't been separated where the pages come unseparated. The cards are unseparated. So I have a bunch of those. I bought them for, I remember, 20, 30, 40 bucks the most. I see them now for $150, $160. So anyway, all right, so it's Lou Whitaker leading it off against Phil Niekro. Phil Niekro's 2-7. That's a 7, so it's off Niekro's card. And a 75 is an out. Whitaker is an LP, and that's a ground ball to the third baseman. That's Pags. And, Pags drops the ball, had trouble with it, trouble getting it out of his glove, and then dropped the ball. And we're going to check and see what kind of an error it is. On a third baseman, it's a 2 error. This may be – so wait a second. Let me give you an update on what happened here. A 2 error is a little bit different. So Pags has trouble, picks up the ball, throws wildly to first base, goes over the first baseman's head, and onto second base is Lou Whitaker. So it's going to be an E5. And Whitaker's on at second base. Okay. Alan Trammell. It's a 2. It's off Niekro. A 56 is an out. Kind of an out. It is an RN, a pop-up to the first baseman. And right there is Mattingly. 1 away. A 5 off Niekro, a 52. That's an out. Now it's Gibson. LP, it's a ground ball again to Pagliarulo. Maybe he may turn a double play. 4-3, round the horn. Oh, no, there's a runner on second. He looks Whitaker back to second, over to third, over to first, and that's 2 outs. And here goes, pitch from Niekro, knuckleballer Niekro. That's a 10. That's going to be off Lance Parrish, and a 47 is a strikeout. Retires aside, no runs, no hits, an error. Go to the top of the second. Nice little game. It moves you away from dice. I do this, I'm trying to get a regular rotation now where I'm playing my games. I'm playing everything at least once a week. I may take 2 days. If I haven't played a game in a long time, I may take 2 days to kind of get familiar with the game again. So that's something new that I've started. I want to get all my games in on a regular basis because I found myself playing a game for like 3 weeks or a month. And I want to be able to. So for now, my schedule is basically a day playing a game or a day and a half and then switching to a different game. So I play all my games every week. Got about 6 or 7 that I like to play. I know a lot of guys have more than that, but this is the most I can handle. All right, so it's going to be Dave Winfield against Randy O'Neill. Here's the pitch, and it's an 11. That's going to be off Winfield's card, and a 35 off Winfield's card is a deep drive to left field, and back goes the left fielder. Who is that out there? Herndon to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. Dave Winfield connects. And the Yanks are up 1-0 on a home run by Dave Winfield. We pulled a 35, and it's a 31-35 is a home run. All right, next batter is Scott Bradley, the lefty. It's an 8, so that's going to be off O'Neill. And we pull a 78, which is an out. LN. It's a ground ball again to the third baseman. And this time it's going to be Brookins. Brookins is going to handle it cleanly. Over to first. for the first out in the top of the second. Oh, and we got to make a change here. This is something I have a tendency to forget. Home pitcher reduction. So you got to go one for the hit, the home run, and one for the run. Don't forget to do that. Ron Hassey now. The pitch, it's a 7. That's going to be off O'Neill. An 83 is an out. LP. LP says, oh, they got 3-1 here. That's the first 3-1 I've seen. Ground ball to the first baseman, who's going to flip to the pitcher covering, and the pitcher may mishandle the ball, and he does. Drops the ball. Randy O'Neill. So it's going to be an E1. Oh, actually, yeah, that's all it could be here. I don't see it being anything else. E1. Actually, I could pull a card and see something else. Okay, the pitcher would be an E1. Yeah. All right, they have it set up properly. All right, so Hassey's on at first, and it's Willie Randolph. So it's an 8. Again, that's off O'Neill. A 88. So we got a righty pitcher versus a righty batter. That's going to definitely be an out. An 88 will kind of an out. It's an RN, and that's usually a fielder's choice. Oh, in this case, it is going to be a fielder's choice to the shortstop. Trammell flips to Whitaker, 6-4. 2 outs. And they have little codes, like an A is just a runner advances in the infield. An X is a fielder's choice, and a G, grounder, is going to be a potential double play. Sometimes it's beat out by faster runners. So there's a lot of little very. Hey, Amish Gaming, how are you, brother? Doing a little like Statis Pro commentary, critique, review, game play. Pagliarulo is up against Randy O'Neill. Kind of a journeyman pitcher who had 2 out of the 3 decent years he had with Detroit were pretty good. This is the 85 season. 1-0, the Yankees are up on the home run by Dave Winfield here in the top of the second. Here's the pitch from O'Neill. That's a 2. So that's going to end up being off Randy O'Neill. This is the first game that I know of from this era that began with the pitcher card. And it was a move away from what Strat did and what Appa did. Everything goes through the pitcher. So we rolled a 2. That's going to be off the pitcher. Now we're going to roll for the number result, a 27. And that's a strikeout. So he blows one by Pagliarulo, swinging for the fences. And that retires the side. 1 error, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. They leave 1. And at the end of 1.5, it's Yankees 1 and the Tigers 0. This game is very relaxing, very serene because of the card. The FAC, right? Fast action card aspect of the game. Whereas with dice games, it's a little bit more frenetic. Darrell Evans, he's the 5th place batter. Here's the pitch from the knuckleballer Phil Niekro. That's going to be an 8, so that is not going to be off Niekro's card. So Darrell Evans will have the advantage in this at bat. And an 11, it's a righty versus a lefty, and a righty versus a lefty, and 11 is going to be a hit for sure. Oh no, actually no. Well, yeah, it's a hit because it's off the card. But yeah, it's a little ground ball that gets through the left side for a base hit. So Evans is on with a single. That's going to reduce Phil Niekro by 1, and we have to check for the error by the outfielder. It's another little clunky aspect. So it's every hit off the batter card is a 1, 2, 3. It has like a triad effect, right? You got to go for the hit. You got to check. You got to do the pitcher reduction, and then you got to do the check for the error. Now it's different if it's a hit off the pitcher. Then there's only check. It's only reducing the pitcher. You don't have to check for the error. So Darrell Evans is not really a base stealer, so he's going to go station to station. Now there's a guy named Barbaro. Who remembers a guy named Barbaro Garvey? Because I sure don't. Let me take a quick look at Barbaro Garvey and see who the heck he lasted and what his stats were. These cards don't come with stats, which doesn't bother me. It's okay. I mean, I wish they did. I do enjoy the stats because it gives me an idea of what I'm dealing with. But I'm going to check. Okay, this player, no wonder I didn't remember him. He played 2 seasons in the majors, both with Detroit. In '85, the season we're playing, he batted .257 and hit 6 home runs in 200 at bats. So over the course of a season, proportionally, with 600 at bats, he would have had about 18 home runs, which is not, and 90 RBIs, which is not too shabby. But it's interesting to see how the players just drop out. Oh, he played 1 year with Texas, '88. He came back. He missed '86 and '87. He came back and with Texas in '88, had 62 at bats, no home runs, hit batted 194, and then he quit baseball. So Barbaro Garby. Santiago, oh, he's a Cuban player. Santiago de Cuba. He's 63 years old right now. Fascinating. All right. So he's up. Here's a pitch from Negro. That's a 12, so that's high enough. That's above the PB rating for Phil Negro. So that's going to be off Garby's card. That gives Garby an advantage. A 48 is going to be a hit by pitch. So Garby gets plunked, and this puts runners, right? This puts runners on first and second for Larry Herndon. So 1-0 Yankees in the bottom of the second. I'm going to pull a card for Herndon. It's a 5 and an 87. Herndon's a righty. They're both righties, so an 87 is going to be an out. An RN out is a fly ball, right field. 1 away. That hit by pitch is going to reduce Negro by another 1. So there's no bias in this game in terms of removing pitchers because you keep track of when you should remove a pitcher through the reduction matrix. Dave Bergman, the first baseman, is up with 2 on and 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's a 4. That's again off Negro, and an 18 off Negro's card is line base hit right field. Now Evans is not a guy you want to try to score, especially if there's not 2 outs. So he's going to hold up. Bases loaded. Infield's going to be in for the Yankees. They're up by, you know what? We're going to try for the double play. Infield's going to be back. Actually, we'll bring the corners in the middle halfway for the double play. Tom Brookins. Here's the pitch to Brookins. And it's going to be a 7. That's off Negro again. And a 44 is a ball 4. And that's going to force in a run. So it's a walk. And the third baseman, Brookins, forces in that run. Bases are now loaded again. RBI base on balls for Brookins. And that's going to be a run and a walk. And now it's Sweet Lou Whitaker. Again, the Yankees just want to avoid a bigger inning. They're going to bring the corners in on the grass. So you got Pags and Mattingly on the grass, and halfway you've got the middle infielders, Meacham and Randolph. Here's the pitch to Whitaker. It's an 8. It's going to be off Whitaker's card. A 22 is line base hit right field. Frozen rope to right. This is going to score Garby for sure. And we're going to check on the speed of Bergman. If they're real fast, I'll try to score them. Otherwise, I'm going to hold. Yeah, he's going to hold. We got to check for an error. And there's no error, and that's going to bring Negro down 2 more. Bases are still loaded for Alan Trammell. So Negro's in a boatload of trouble right here. Still only has 1 out. The bases loaded. The Tigers have already scored 2 runs. They won last night's game 3-0. Amish, being that this goes off the pitcher card first, would you say that this favors the pitcher a little more or the batter for most of the games, dude? Okay, that's a great question. Well, the whole purpose of having it go off the pitcher is that the pitcher is going to get an advantage. So if you ask me which one it would favor in terms of whose card is going to go off more, it should go off the pitch. It should go off the good pitchers more and the bad pitchers less. But when it does come off the batter's card, the batter's going to have the advantage. So the better pitchers are going to have the advantage more often, which is realistic. The worst pitchers are going to have it less often, which would then go to the advantage batter, which makes sense. All right, so it's Alan Trammell. And here goes. It's a 6, so that's going to be off Negro. Again, middle infield's looking for the double play. Corners are in. And an 85. He's a righty versus a righty, so that's going to be an out, RN. And it's going to be a ground ball that could become a double. Oh, no, he's playing in. G3 playing in with the bases loaded. So bases loaded. G3 playing in, run around third, out at home. So Mattingly is going to fire at home. Hasse with the tag. It's going to be a fielder's choice for the second out. 3-2. And fielder's choice. Everybody moves up one. Bases are loaded for Kirk Gibson, the star of the 1988 big home run in that game 1 against Dennis Eckersley. Always be remembered for that. Kirk Gibson. He's an announcer today, and he's coming up to bat. He's a left-handed hitter, left-handed pull hitter. He's batting with the bases loaded against the wily veteran knuckleballer Phil Niekro. And that's an 8. That's not going to be off Niekro's card, so advantage goes to Gibson. Here's the card that makes a big difference. A 35 is a deep drive to right field, and back goes Winfield to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. Grand slam for Kirk Gibson. We pulled a 35, and a 35 is a home run. And the Tigers have just taken a 6-0 lead. 6-1 lead, excuse me. Grand slam, home run, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. So center field. And Kirk Gibson was a heck of a ball player. He was a center. I never saw him as a center fielder. I remember him hobbling around the bases in that 88 game. But earlier, he was a very athletic ball player. He's the center fielder for Detroit in 1985. Fascinating. Nobody on, and only one out, and it's going to be Lance Parrish, 10. It's going to be off Parrish, a 63, and that's an out. RP, what kind of an out? Fly ball right field, and that's the third out. But the Tigers pick up, they pick up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs on 1, 2, let's see again, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. And they lead it by a score of 6-1. Wow, that was a long inning. And we have 4 runs scored plus the home run, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, Bobby Meacham, top of the third. 7, that's going to be off O'Neill. A 16 is a base hit, center field for Meacham. All right, next is Ricky Henderson. We pulled a 10, so that's off Henderson's card. A 24, and that's going to be line base hit right field. Goes the opposite way. Stopping at second is Meacham. particularly now that we're 5 runs down. So the Yanks have something brewing here quickly. First and second, nobody out. Next is Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., 5. This is going to be off O'Neill. A 64 is an out. An LN is a ground ball to the first baseman. Oh, and that's going to be booted by the first baseman. And let's see. Yep, he drops the ball. It's going to be an error. That's going to load the bases. E3. Bases are loaded for Don Mattingly. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. He started off with an 11, so he should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be at 7. Okay, I missed one. All right, good. Bases loaded, Don Mattingly. Here's the pitch from Randy O'Neill to the always dangerous Mattingly. It's going to be off Mattingly's card, and that's going to be an 87. He is a righty versus a lefty. Righty versus a lefty. 87 is going to be line base hit to right, and that's going to score 2. Around to score is Meacham, followed by Henderson. Going to third is Griffey. So it's a 2-run single for Donnie Baseball, and it's 6-3. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. And we have to check for the error as well. Oh, 5-10. And that was an 80. No, there's no error there. All right, so let's do that. Let's put that back. All right, Dave Winfield. Here's the pitch to Winfield. It's a 5. That's going to be off O'Neill. A 54 is an out. RP, what kind of an out is that? It's a ground ball, maybe a double play. Excuse me. And it is 5-4-3 double play. Winfield is a fairly speedy batter, so I got to check because sometimes the runner will beat it out. So it's first and third. There's only 3 charts, and you don't look up 3 base running charts. So what did we say it was? We said it was a G5. So G5 double play. Yep, 5-4-3, and Detroit. It's 2 outs. Run's going to score on that. 6-4 now, and with 2 outs, nobody on. It is going to be Scott Bradley. So another run scores. So it's a 4. It's off O'Neill. A 17 is line base hit for Bradley. He's on with a 2-out single. Not a threat to steal. And that was off of the pitcher's card. So we're going to have to check for the error. It's a 9. This is going to be off Ron Hassey's card. A 971. That's going to be an out. LP is a comebacker to O'Neill. Feels his position, perhaps. And no, he boots it. That's a second error on O'Neill. And second error in this inning. And the third error of the game for the Tigers. So first and second now, with Willie Randolph coming up. Here's a pitch to Randolph. It's a 2. That's off O'Neill. An 88. Righty versus righty. That's going to be an out. An RN. It's a ground ball again to the third baseman. Third baseman is Brookins. And Brookins, I believe, is going to field it cleanly. And he does. It's only an E6. All right, that's going to be 5-3. And that retires the side. Let me double check. Yep, sure does. But the Yanks pick up 3 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. And it's a 6-4 ball game. We go to bottom of the third. It's going to be Darrell Evans batting. Here's the pitch from Necro. It's an 8. That's going to be off Evans' card, a 26. And that's a deep drive to right field, and back goes Winfield to the track, to the wall. It's gone. Darrell Evans connects. Seven to 4. Barbaro Garbe. And that's going to be two more. You reduce. It's a 5, so it's going to be off Necro at a 52. That's an out. He's an RN. That's lined and caught by Mattingly, L3. Herndon is up next. That's an 8. It's off Herndon's card, a 14. Righty versus righty on a 14. I'm still learning. Yeah, this goes up to 12, which would be an out. It's going to be a little ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. And Bergman. And it's going to be a clutch batting. Clutch batting for Bergman is a 0. So that is one of the ratings. A 0.28 is no effect. So we're going to have to shuffle up because we're out of cards. We've had a couple of crazy innings here. We were already 40 minutes into this game, and we're only in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That's one thing about streaming Status Pro. I feel that the games have a tendency to go really long, especially if you're not really – if I was familiar with this, I'd be shooting through this thing. But you also have to stop to shuffle the deck and so on. So Dave Bergman, 1 out, runner on first. Here's the pitch. It's a 4. It's off Necro. A 32 is a strikeout. Knuckleball got Bergman. That brings up Tom Brookins. It's a 10. It's off Brookins. An 83 is an out. He's an RN. And it's a ground ball to the first baseman. Mattingly feels it, and that retires the side. 3 unassisted. So 1 run on 2 hits. And it's 7-4 Tigers. Top of the 4th, Randy O'Neal is still in there, but not for much longer because he's already almost at the end of his points. All right, it's Pagliarulo leading us off. Here's a pitch to Pags. That's an 8. That's going to be off O'Neal. 17 is a little ground ball and through into center field for a base hit. Leadoff single for Pags. Meacham. A 10. It's off Meacham's card. An 86. Meacham is a switch hitter, so he's batting lefty. Righty versus lefty. 86 is going to be an out. What kind of an out? He's SN. And we said this was off the, yeah. SN is a ground ball to second baseman. May turn 2 here. But he is an A. And there's a potential for 2. Let's see what happens. There's a potential for 2. And G4 is a double play. 4, 6, 3. And that's 2 outs, top of the 4th. So Meacham grounds into a double play. And it's Ricky Henderson. Pitch from O'Neal. It's a 3, so that's off O'Neal's card. A 65 is an out. And RP is it a ground ball or a pop-up? Ground ball in front of the plate. Out is Parrish, guns it to first and gets Henderson. Now that's one anomaly with this game, or one idiosyncrasy, if you will, that you get a lot of 2-3 putouts. I know the advanced game has fixed that. All right, so it's the bottom of the 4th. Let's go. And it's Phil Necro. That's a 6. It's off Necro. See if Necro gets some outs, and he does. He strikes out Whitaker to start off the bottom of the 4th. We may start moving a little bit faster now. That's a 4 again off Necro. A 28 is a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for the knuckleballer. Kirk Gibson. That's a 9. That's off Gibson, a 46, and that is a strikeout. So Niekro strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go top of the 5th. Ken Griffey Sr. with a 4. That's off O'Neill's card. A 26. That's a K. Mattingly's next. A 7. Again, that's off O'Neill. And 86. So it's a righty versus a lefty. And an 86 is going to be an out, an LP out. Say, again, a ball, a little number in front of the plate. Over to first, 2-3. It's a lot of those in this game. And Winfield with 2 outs, top of the 5th. 6, that's off O'Neill, and 85 is going to be an out. And RP is going to be a comebacker. And it's booted by O'Neill. That's his 3rd error of the game, E1. He's a 10, so he goes all the way from 1 to 10. He gets an error. So it's a 2-out error by the pitcher, his 3rd error of the game. The Tigers have 4 errors in this game. All right, next is Scott Bradley. That's a 5, a 14. And Bradley's a lefty versus a righty. Of 14 is going to be a base hit left field, stopping at, you know what? We could let Winfield go to 3rd. He's an A, first to 3rd on a single to left. We're looking at least a 76. So we're going to send Winfield to 3rd, and we roll a 78, and he is going to be out. 3rd base. 7 to 5. And that is going to end the inning. Wow. So we got to reduce that 1 there. It was a single, but Winfield gets thrown out at 3rd base. That surprised everybody. No runs, 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the 5th. And that's going to be pretty much all for, he's down to his last point of endurance for Randy O'Neill. So we're looking here at the actual scorecard of this game to start picking out a reliever for the but not in this game. We're going to go to the previous game because in this game it was a close game and Tigers used their closer. So we're not going to use a closer just yet. We are going to look at pitchers. A guy named Bill Scherer and Aurelio Lopez and Doug Baer. These are all guys that. So let's look for Bill Scherer. Now I've been finding that I have every player in this 85 set. So if you see the 85 set kind of rolling around out there, the original 85 set for Status Pro, know that it comes with all the players. So that's pretty cool. And I think I saw somebody selling one somewhere. I think it was on Delphi Tabletop for $30. That's a deal for every player. And these are classic cards. It's a classic system for sure. So Scherer is going to be in there, and he's going to be a 10 relief endurance points. And we're going to write him in already. We're in the bottom of the 5th. And it's Phil Niekro facing Lance Parrish. Here's the pitch. It's an 8. It's off Parrish's card. A 73 is an out, and RP is a pop-up infield shortstop. 1 up, 1 down. All right, it's off of Niekro. The next pitch, a 21 off Niekro, is a replay because it says balk. So we're going to pull a card. It's an 11. It's off Darrell Evans. A 71 is an out. LP is, again, popped up to short. And with 2 outs is Barbaro Garbe. It's a 7. That's off Niekro. A 46 off Niekro is a replay because it's a pass ball. Clutch defense, there's nobody on base, so you don't use that. It's a 5. It's off Niekro. A 72 is an out. RN is a pop-up, 3rd base. And Pags catches it. 3 up, 3 down. Top of the 6th. Yanks against Bill Scherer now. Here goes. Who is it? Who's at bat? It's going to be Bradley singled, and Winfield got thrown out at third, so it's going to be Ron Hasse. Here goes. 7. It's going to be off Hasse's card, a 57. That's an out. LP. It's a ground ball to third. Up with it is Brookins. Over to first. That retires the side. I'm sorry, that retires the first batter. Excuse me. Willie Randolph. 3. And that's off the pitcher, 22, and that's a strikeout. So 2 outs. Pags. Z. We could check that just for fun, see what happens. Z chart, we're going to pull a card. It's a 36 off the Z chart. Unusual plays, what did I say was a 30, 36? No, 30, 36, 35. 35. 35 tells us to only when man on first, runners picked off. So I guess nothing happens. All right, so let's pull another card. A 12, it's going to be off Pagliarulo. 14, he's a lefty versus a lefty. Lefty versus a lefty, a 14 is a foul ball to the catcher. And right there is Parrish, flips the mask away, makes the catch, and that retires the side. So lefty versus lefty, they do have splits in this game. It's very easily done. You know, very kind of easy to follow, intuitive. You don't have to, it just comes naturally. All right, so after 5.5, it's 7-4 Tigers. Phil Niekro still hanging on in there in this game. He's going to face Herndon, Bergman, and Brookins in the bottom of the 6th. After this, we got a shuffle. It's a 4, so that's off Niekro. A 67 is going to be an out. An RN is a pop-up to the second baseman this time. That's Randolph under it. Bergman is next. Pull a card. It's a 6 that falls on Niekro's card at 12. And this is a lefty versus a righty. That 12 is going to be a base hit. We reduce Niekro by 1. Bergman is on at first. And that was off who's that was off of Niekro's card, I believe. Yeah. All right, here goes. An 8 is going to be off Brookins. 36 is a strikeout. 2 outs. Top of the order. Lou Whitaker. Pitch, it's a 9. It's off Whitaker's card, a 41, and that is ball 4. That brings us down to 1, and that's going to be it for Niekro. So that's going to be it for Niekro. And the Yanks are going to bring in a guy named Fisher, Ryan Fisher, to face Trammell. And Niekro went 5.2. All right, here goes. Trammell at 3. That's off Fisher's card, a 47, and that is a pass ball. Gets by the catcher. Both runners are going to move up. So a pass ball on the catcher. Both runners move up. Second and third now. Here's the pitch. Say 4. Again, that's off Fisher, and 11. So righty versus righty, and 11 is going to be a strikeout, and that retires the side. So it pays off to bring in the pitcher from the same side as the batter. As we get out of trouble there, it would have been a base hit. So it's no runs on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 7th. It's going to be Meacham leading it off. We got to shuffle right now. I shuffle in the top of the 4th, top of the 7th, and that's it, right? Top of the 4th and top of the 7th. So twice a game I shuffle at the beginning of the game, and then twice during the game. All right, here goes. See what happens. Top of the 7th for the Yanks. It's Bobby Meacham who's going to hit. It's a 7. It's going to be off Meacham's card, a 44 base on balls. So Meacham is on with a walk. It's good for the Yankees. It's 7-4 Detroit. And that's going to reduce him by 1. The next one is a 6. That is off Scherer. A 34 off Scherer is a ball 4. So back-to-back walks. Puts runners on first and second. Now, I'm not sure how to try out a... I see. Okay. I like to steal third base with Ricky Henderson. Let's try that. See what happens. We're going to try a double steal. Now, I'm not too sure how to do a double steal in this game. I'm saying, well, if Ricky tries to steal third, they're going to throw to third, so it's going to be an automatic double steal. I think that's what makes most sense right now for a guy that doesn't really know the rules and is not interested in looking them up right now. And I don't see, and there's a little like paragraph at the top, and I don't see where it says a double steal. Double steals. Okay. On an, let's see what it says. Hold on a second. I got cards on top of it. On double steal, defense indicates which runner he will try for. Okay, that's it. Pretty makes sense. So we're going to try for Ricky Henderson at third. They're both the same in terms of stealing ability, although I think Ricky Henderson runs more often. Because Ricky Henderson is an A base stealer. Meacham is a B. So, do we go to second? Now, usually the guy throws to third because you want to get the lead runner. That's just baseball instinct. So let's see. Let's roll and see what happens. It's an 83 is our random number on a second to third steal. 83 is runner cannot get jump holes. Beautiful. I love that. All right. So he doesn't get the jump that we wanted. Ken Griffey Jr. Here's the pitch. So 4. So that's off Scherer. 73. That's some sort of an out. LN is a ground ball to third base. And there's no error. So this could be a double play here with first and second. And I have to find that chart. I found first and third. Hopefully first and second is over here. There it is, first and second. And we have a G5, and that is going to be a double play, 5-4-3 double play. Meacham's going to go to third on that. Oh, wait, Meacham was at third. Okay, didn't matter anyway. All right, Meacham was a second, so he was the one who's trying to steal third. For some reason, I saw Henderson on second base. That's what I was hoping for. All right, so 2 outs, Mattingly in the top of the 7th. It's 7-4, Detroit. Meacham is on at third base. Let's see if we can get this run in. Say 6, that's off Scherer. A 17 is going to be strike 3. And he strikes out Mattingly, which is not something that's easy to do. No runs, no hits, 1 left on base, 2 walks. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 7-4 Detroit. Kirk Gibson is facing Brian Fisher. It's a lefty and a righty. Okay, so we're good. Here goes. It's a 3. It's off Fisher's card, a 77. Swing it out, LP, ground ball to Pags. Makes the throw. 1 away. Lance Parrish, 7. That's off Fisher. 18, and that's line base hit center field. How did Fisher get to 1? Because I never gave him his 6. Okay. So now he's at 5. So Fisher came in 5.2. Fisher came in here. All right. All right, Darrell Evans, the batter. against Brian Fisher. Here's a pitch. It's an 11. That's going to be off Evans. And 88. Evans is a lefty. A righty versus a lefty. And 88 is going to be a single. Base hit. Gets through the infield. Runner moves up one base. It's a righty again, so we're good. And it's going to move that there. Okay, 9. It's going to be, again, off the batter card. And a 55 is an out. RN is a ground ball to second baseman. And that's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Yanks are out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits. We go to the top of the 8th. Bill Scher is still in there. Now I'll let these go. The way I've been starting to play, I just like into the game of baseball itself. You know, I try to make it realistic, but I may let a guy go, you know, particularly if it's not a team that I'm checking stats for. Like it's not my team. Will I move Scher if I don't have to? Let him go 4 innings? Sure, if it's not hurting anybody. You know, if he's giving up a lot of hits and runs, then I'll immediately move him, of course, because I don't want to, you know, kind of give one side or the other an advantage. But that's kind of my thinking on how I do this. 8 is Dave Winfield. He's at the top of the 8th. Batting 4th is Dave Winfield. He's up now. Now he's 1 for 3 with a home run. He's going to face Scher. Here goes. It's an 11, so it's off Winfield's card. A 31 is a deep drive to right left field, and back goes, who's that? Herndon to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. Second home run of the game for Dave Winfield. 7-5 now. I'm going to bring 2 down for Scher. It's a 4, so that's going to be off Scher. A 58's an out. This is Bradley. 58's an out, kind of an out. It's an LN. It's a fly to left. Herndon's there. Puts it away. Hassey's next. A 5 is off Scher. An 84 is an out. He's an LP. Ground ball, third base. Over to first. In time, 5-3. 2 out. And Willie Randolph. Randolph is 0 for 3 today. 5. That's off the pitcher. 75. Easy out. He's an RN. That's a fly to right. That retires the side, but the Yanks pick up 1 run on 1 hit. They bring it within 2 runs. 7-5 Detroit. Bottom of the 8th. Fisher's still in there. And he's going to face Herndon. There's the pitch. It's a 10. It's off Herndon's card. A 14. Righty versus righty. 14. It's a base hit. Herndon's on there. It was off Herndon's card. We're going to roll check for that error. No error on the outfielder. Herndon's on at first. Bergman, a lefty. And in a game like this, and Righetti hasn't pitched in a long time, so we're going to bring in Dave Righetti. So 1.1. And now it's going to be Righetti. And he's a lefty, so we got lefty versus lefty. Let's see, let's go. It's a 9. That's going to be off of Bergman. 78 is an LN. LN is a ground ball to the shortstop. Field cleanly by Meacham. Only 1 play, and that's the first. Brookins now with a runner at second base. The pitch, it's a 2. That's off Righetti, an 86. Lefty versus righty. And an 86 is going to be line base hit. That's going to score Herndon. Eight to 5. Lou Whitaker. We got to bring Righetti was what, a 7, and he just gave up a hit and a run. And let's see. That's going to be clutch batting with a runner at first base. Whitaker is a 0 rating, a 31 under a 0. is a replay. So you just pull another card. It's a 2. That's off for Getty. 47 is ball 4. So first and second with 1 out. Alan Trammell. And we'll bring that down. Another one, that's a 9. That's going to be off Trammell. A 35, and that's going to be strike 3. Swung through it for out number 2. First and second is Kirk Gibson, lefty. That's clutch batting. Clutch batting 73. He's a clutch batting rating 1. A 73 is going to be pull a new card. An 8 is off Gibson. A 42 is strike 3, and that retires the side. So it's 1 run on 2 hits. So altogether, he gave up 1, 2, 3. So he went down 3 from the what? From the 7. 1, 2, 3. Yep, he's good. All right. Top of the 9th, last licks for the Yanks. 8-5, Detroit. So far, how are we doing in this game? On 1 hour and a minute. So that's 61 minutes so far. Now we're going to bring in our closer, the Detroit closer. I believe he's Willie Hernandez from what I saw on the box scores. There he is. Willie Hernandez is going to come in. Top of the 9th here. The Yanks are down by 3. All right, Pagliarulo's leading it off. Here goes. It's a 7. And that's on Willie Hernandez. It's an easy out. LP, ground ball, second base. Field cleanly by Whitaker. Over to Bergman for out number 1. They get a pinch hitter. It's going to be Don Baylor. Don Baylor actually pinch hit in this game. One of my favorite players of all time, Don Baylor. All right, here goes. Pitch from Hernandez. It's an 8, so that's going to be off Hernandez card. An 87. Lefty versus a righty. 87 is going to be a little ground ball and through into center field for a base hit. So Don Baylor, and that brings down that he loses 1, goes to 5. Baylor's on with a single. Ricky Henderson is next. Here's the pitch to Ricky Henderson. It's a 9, so it's going to be off Henderson's card, a 64. It's an RP out. RP out is a fly ball, deep left field, and back is Herndon to the track and makes the catch. 2 out. Excuse me. And Will Hernandez against King Griffey, 2 outs, top of the 9th. The Yanks are down to their last out. That's off of Hernandez's card, a 32, and that is strike 3, and that's the ball game. Yanks lose it by a score of 8-5. Loss is going to go to Niekro, who really struggled in this game. The win's going to go to O'Neill. And now what I do is, let me show you, I have some fun now. This is part of what I do. I kind of recap the game by actually color coding my scorecard. It really makes things stand out, the whole game experience. So in the end, there was no runs on 1 hit. So the first thing I like to do is kind of manage the hits. So I do those in green, right? I do that home run in green. Then there was a single there. Another single by Mattingly. And a single there. Because I'm going to input all this into a computer program. So then it helps me when I do that. Those are all the hits so far. Another hit here for the Yanks. These are all the hits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits for the Yanks. And they committed 1 error. It was 4 errors committed by the Tigers. See how many hits the Tigers had. One big one here. The big hit was that grand slam by Kirk Gibson in this game. It was a single by Whitaker there. There was a single by Evans in this inning. Hit by pitch, another single by Bergman. A walk to Brookins. Then in the bottom of the third, a home run and a single. But then Negro settled down for a couple innings. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits for the Tigers. So it was Yanks 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Tigers 8 runs, 11 hits, 4 errors, 3 by the pitcher O'Neill, who's terrible. He's got a 10 rating, and that's you can't get any worse than that. Now let's look at the pitching. Let's look at the strikeouts. Look how O'Neill did in the time that he was in there. He pitched 5. He had a strikeout there. He had another one here. Another one here. So he struck out 3. The next pitcher, Scherer, came in the 6th. Struck out 1. Let's do that. Let's bring him in there. Struck out 1 in the 6th inning. Struck out another one in the 7th inning. And then Hernandez struck out the last batter, Griffey. So that really stands out there. Now for Necro, he had a strikeout there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 3 in the 4th. He struck out the side in the 4th inning. Struck out 1 in the 3rd. That's 5 so far. Then he had strikeout number 6, and that was it. Then Fisher came in, struck out 1. And then in the bottom of the 8th, it was Righetti with 2 more strikeouts. Just interesting to see how the game goes back and forth. And then I do the walks as well in yellow. I do the walks in yellow. I don't have anything for the errors. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with errors yet. But I do the walks in yellow so they stand out. I like to see the walks. You see patterns and what hurt the team as well when you do this. You know, color-coded patterns. It's very easy to see, oh, wow, look, they walked 3 batters in this inning. That you know, was definitely one of the causes. So not too many walks. Now I do the infield ground outs and the flyouts. I could start with the flyouts. Anything that's an out in the air, it's a pop-up to the catcher. A foul out to the catcher. Fly out to left, fly out to right, and a fly out to left. And then here you got a pop-up to the first baseman, Mattingly. A fly out to Winfield, another fly out to Winfield. You got a line out to Mattingly there. And a pop-up. 3 pop-ups in the bottom of the 5th. And then in the 6th, that's going to be it. For the pop-ups or the outs in the air in this game. Now, here it is. Now I'm going to do ground balls. Got 1 grounder. Yeah, 2 grounders here. This inning had a double play ground ball and a ground ball to third. Another double play in this inning. Those double plays hurt them. Ground ball to the catcher, which happens a lot in Statis Pro baseball. Another grounder in the 6th, and the 7th, and 3rd. So the Tigers had 3 double plays. They turned 3 double plays. That was big for their defense. Ground ball in the bottom of the inning. In the 3rd, another ground ball. Here's the one right here. And 2 more in the 7th. The Yanks turn a double play finally. And then another one in the 9th. In the 8th, excuse me. And that's going to be it. And that's the ball game, guys. So this is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks for watching. Yankees lose it. That's 2 in a row. They do have a pretty decent record, but they've lost a couple in a row here. Negro takes the loss, and O'Neill takes the win for Detroit. And I'll see you guys later. Ah, there it is. Turbocharged Sports. How you doing, brother? Yankees lost this one, unfortunately, 8-5 to Detroit. So I'll see you guys later. This is my 85 replay using Statis Pro. Started it 3 years ago. Still going.